I live in Wisconsin, and I'm a Patriots fan. It's a dangerous life, but I'm willing to do it. 80 for Brady is now out, and it stars Sally Field, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, Rita Moreno, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and a bunch of other people. This movie is based on a true story in which four ladies who are die-hard Patriot and Tom Brady fans decide they should go see him in the Super Bowl, as he's not going to afford it. He could be retiring soon. This leads them on a great adventure along the way. They have a wonderful time, and they might even get to meet the GOAT. Bias warning ahead, I like this movie a lot more than I probably should because of the fact it is based off of my favorite team and one of my most favorite games that I ever experienced in my entire life. I'm going to go off on a little side tangent here just to give you some context. It'll be quick, but it's necessary. Super Bowl 51 was, for me, the greatest game I ever experienced as a Patriot fan. It is the infamous, if you know anything about football, 28-3. Patriots were down 28-3 and came back to win in overtime, 34-28. I had the newspaper from that day. I have 2 copies of it. Was a massive Patriots fan. I remember winning and picking up my sister, despite the fact she was taller and heavier than me, because I was that excited. My dad and mom, because they were divorced at the time, he called me. He's like, "Ryan, did you see the character?" All that. So I have a big connection to this game myself. That made me love this movie even more. And on top of that, these are 4 actresses that I've also grown up with and have a great fondness for. So I think a large part of me going forward and telling you about this movie is going to have bias involved. I will do my best to separate critical from subjective. So, critically speaking, I'm going to get it out of the way. This movie's alright. It's pretty good, I'd say. It's a run-of-the-mills, kind of like old ladies go out in the town kind of movie. It's got that typical routine where they get to do stuff like dance, and they get to meet the cute older guy, and there's young guys who are like, they can do that still. Stuff like that. It hits a lot of those beats we see. And, of course, they pick 4 actresses with great charisma and chemistry to carry it along the way with some jokes that work pretty well, often enough. And you can throw in some other people in there to the mix, and it makes it work. That's me critically speaking about it. I'd say it's pretty okay. I'm going to do something I rarely do, and I don't think I've ever done before. And that is, I'm going to give this movie, on a critical scale, its own rating at the end compared to my own subjective feeling. Because I kind of have to. I will tell you my subjective rating early on, but I'll tell you the critical rating at the end. I do have to say something, though. The ladies in here do an absolutely wonderful job, and they are hilarious to watch. Even though I'd say the script at times is not as funny as it should be, and the jokes feel a little akin to like a sitcom kind of feel. I mean, this movie is literally compared to the Golden Girls twice in here. People are like, oh, it's the Golden Girls. It's that level. They sell it because of how good they are at screen. They have so much energy, and they have so much just beaming joy in them. The way they play, it's a lot of fun. There's tons of over-the-top characters and sequences. The recreation of the Super Bowl makes real footage. Also very interesting. It was cool to see. I liked that a lot. This movie has a back and forth for me, like I said, because when I'm looking on that technical level, it's a little too much of already treaded territory with kind of a rehashed plot. But for me, being that Patriot fan, I found it to be a lot more fun, especially with this game meaning so much to me. So, I'm going to say this movie, I know that it's not going to go over for everyone. I'm going to say, though, it's worth your watch if you're into these kinds of comedies. That's the only way I can say it. If you're into the Patriots or into these kinds of comedies or you like these actresses, go see it. If not, it's probably not worth your watch. If I'm being subjective about this movie, I give this movie a 7 out of 10. But that's not a realistic rating, so let's give it a professional one. I'm going to give 80 for Brady a 5 out of 10. I apologize for this video and review being so all over the place. There really was no other way for me to do it with this film. Next time, we'll be a lot more back on a normal level playing field. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you all next time.